Hey there, welcome to Contracts and Chaos. My name's Alyssa.
And I'm Brenna, and we're here to tell you that you are not alone in the mayhem of this real estate industry.
We're keeping it real and sharing our stories, strategies, and successes in today's real estate world.
So come join us every Tuesday while we talk contracts and chaos. All right, we are officially recording. Alyssa and I spent a weekend in Charlotte, early January, because this will post in a few weeks, early January at a mastermind hosted by Taylor Hunt. If you haven't heard of her, you should go find her on Instagram. I can't believe if you're a real estate agent here locally, especially because she's in Columbia, South Carolina, you should have definitely seen her by now.
Yeah, but I was amazed at the number of women who were not local.
Girl, when they stood up and they were talking about like where, like they would stand up, ask a question or whatever, and they'd say their name. And I heard names from Texas, from California, from Florida, from, is that the farthest ones away? Colorado. Like I was like, oh, these girls like flew in for this event.
There was one woman, I can't remember her name right now. She lives in Florida. She had driven with her 4 kids, her husband, and her 2 dogs that both weigh 120 pounds to Niagara Falls for vacation. Mm-hmm. And then they decided on the way back she wanted to come to this, so he dropped her off. I was like, that is dedication.
That's hilarious.
Because no. But yeah, it was good. It's the first time we've seen each other in person in a hot minute. Like 2 years.
Terrible. Which is crazy because we talked about this when we were there. It feels like we see each other all the time because we do this. I mean, all the time.
We do. We see each other every Tuesday. Mm-hmm. We talk every day. Yeah.
But physically in person in the same room, like never.
Right. And I still didn't even see you that much because like whether it was intentional or not, we did our own thing to meet our own people. Mm-hmm. So that like part of mine was like, yes, I want to see you and I want to hang out with you. But I was like, I need to meet people. So if she needs a referral for an area she didn't get, I can be like, oh, I know so-and-so.
Yep. Well, it happened because we ended up getting 2 different ticket levels, not intentionally. But when I went to purchase one, the was it Elite? Is that what it was called? The Elite one's actually sold out. The event sold out in 15 minutes, you guys, when she posted it back in September. So the ticket levels that we had were different. But also when I said, oh my God, we're not even going to be able to sit together. And Alyssa was like, well, we really shouldn't sit together. Like you should go make a new friend. And I was like, oh, rude. Yes, okay.
That is because like, while we go to events like this to learn and to build our business, part of that is learning from others and connecting with others. Mm-hmm. And when I was at Rise, like I partnered with someone because Rise is much larger and this person knows people. So I wanted those introductions and spent a lot of time with them. But there was another person who just kept showing up and we were like, we don't have that relationship. Stop riding our coattails. Yeah. You know, because there were people I was introducing him to as well to be like, this is so-and-so. Do you know her? But I do think a lot of the wealth from situations like this comes from that networking, especially if you want agent to agent referrals. Like that's where you want to be is talking to. On some conferences, they literally sell social passes. Rise does. You can get a social pass where you can't go into any of the events. You can only go into the vendor hallway crazy. And then network.
That's super cool though. That's super cool. Right. Yeah, for sure. But this was a super tactical, very gosh. We were there, it was like from 9 to 3 for 2 days, but it felt like it went by so quick because it was just like one great nugget after another. So we're going to kind of rehash our takeaways and what we got from the event.
So before we go into the nitty gritty, what was the one that you walked away from and went,
well, there was 40,000 of them, but my favorite thing that they said and it was the very beginning, hold on, because I'm a note taker. Hesitation and execution is what causes delayed success.
I should go get my notes. I didn't even bring them in.
Yes, that was something that she said. It was literally the first like 10 minutes. And how many of us, and we've talked about this before, just do the dang thing, right? We overthink the font, the color. Who's gonna see it and be like, oh wow, she's cringe, right? Like just do it. Just do it. Mm-hmm. And also the other one, and I've heard it before, but I need to hear it every day, is that and we'll go into how she built her business because she's sold over 600 homes in the last 5 years. She's been licensed the same amount of time as I have.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking that too. I was like, I feel really inadequate right now. I thought I was doing okay.
Well, it's two totally different paths, though. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things that it's totally doable. But one of the things that she said was she had also just relocated to a new market, right? And it worked because it was so simple. It could be done every day, right? Even on the worst days. That was the biggest thing for me. And especially because when we started breaking down like our lead gen strategies and our pillars and stuff for the next quarter, for the next 90 days, was that it needs to be so easy, boring, and repeatable that I can do it on my very worst day.
Yep. That's exactly when I was looking at mine. I was like, okay, worst case scenario, I'm in New York for something. Can I still work on these? Mm-hmm. Yes, I can. Like, I bought a printer from Mom's house, so I can even still do the expireds from there. You know, it's not door knocking. It's not open houses. Yeah. So
what was yours?
That was definitely a good one.
Oh God, I can't wait.
Mine was, would you fire yourself today?
That's hilarious because mine was from the very beginning and yours is from the very end.
Yeah. Mine was like, yeah, I remember saying this to the girls in my little quad. I said, I wrote down, I'm the boss of my business, but I show up like the worst employee.
And sometimes we need to be that honest with ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And it was a reflection. I was like, this woman was pregnant. Yes, she had another job, but was trying to make it so she didn't have to work that. Has a husband in the military, and she's out here doing it. All the things.
In a brand new market. She wasn't calling friends and neighbors.
Yeah. No, newly licensed, like, no experience under her belt. And I was just like, yeah, you don't even get out of your pajamas some days, kiddo. Like, what were you thinking? So that's like one of my new things. And I kind of started before that. It was kind of a New Year's thing. It was like, I'm not allowed to work in my pajamas all day. I have to at least jeans and a sweatshirt right now at a minimum. And you know what? It plays a mind trick on you. I get more done. And I have it so like I can work from the couch, but I can't put pajamas or sweatpants back on until my to-do list is done that day. So sometimes I'm not putting my pajamas on until it's actually time to go to bed again.
This is so off topic, but while we were talking about getting dressed, I would love to do like the color theory thing where they're like, these are your best colors.
That's not where I thought you were going.
I'm sorry. We were talking about getting dressed, and I was like, dressed, clothes,
oh no,
color.
I know. This is going to be an off podcast conversation in a couple minutes. Yeah, me too. Maybe that's something we can do together.
How cool would that be?
That could be a thing.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find us a vendor.
There's one in Mooresville.
All right. Well,
there's a couple in Charlotte too, but there's one in Mooresville.
That could be like a good like Valentine's Day thing for us
to do.
How fun would that be? Because that's the other thing. Off topic, but circling back to what we said at the beginning. Can we like set a quarterly?
God, we need to.
At a minimum.
I know, because we haven't seen each other in so long. These people don't care how long it's been since we've seen each other.
No,
okay.
But anyway, and they probably were like, we didn't know. We thought you were best friends.
We are best friends.
We are, but we never see each other. Maybe that's why our best friendship works so well. We don't have the opportunity to get frustrated.
That's hilarious and so true. Okay, moving on.
Right.
Going back to where we started.
Yes.
You take this part, the build your plan around our vision.
So Taylor, one of the things, and I will tell you, this worked for me. Before we came into this event, she had a Zoom call where we worked with a coach to write a letter to ourselves in 10 years. And I'm not good at doing it in front of people or like time. Like I have to go sit somewhere, get a coffee and do it. And so I didn't have it prepped, but I knew going into this event, I was using this weekend to build out my goals and tactics. So I was fine with that. So I did it yesterday. But she wants you to build your plan around the vision of what you want your life to look like. Which is funny that I haven't done this for this because that's how I got into real estate. That's what my mom told me, like, figure out what you want your life to look like and then find the job that fits it. So this is taking that one step further. Figure out what you want your life to look like and then figure out how many houses you have to sell, you know, or does it mean you need to build a team or what is that going to look like? Mine, when I got to mine, Brenna got a message yesterday that I'm pretty sure knocked her off her feet. She was like, wait, what? Like, it knocked me off my feet. I'm still kind of sitting with it going, wow, did not expect that to come out of my letter, because mine still has me in real estate. Mine still has me that it will be my main income. But there is something very big in mine that is not real estate. And I'm not going to share it with you guys. Sorry. Not ready to put that one.
We'll let you know in 10 years if it happens.
Yeah.
We won't say if.
We'll
say when. Yeah. When it happens. We'll let you guys know.
When it happens.
How cool would that be to do like our 10-year letters in 10 years when this podcast is still going?
Can you imagine like if we're still doing a podcast in 10 years?
That's amazing.
That would be pretty cool. Maybe by then the podcast will be an income stream.
Maybe.
That would be nice. But like the other element of this is like, don't set arbitrary goals that don't matter.
I feel like so many people get stuck on like making goals because they have to pay off a credit card this year, or they want to go to Disney this year, or like, and it's, I don't want to say it's short-minded, but it is, right? Like, why are you doing this? The plus side of real estate is there is no ceiling, right? You can make as much or as little as you want to make. What you put in, you get out. So what are you working for? Because if we're just setting our goals based on what we want to happen right now in this season of life, what are you working for? You know?
Exactly. Yep. And I like, exactly. Because when I envision mine, one of my things is like, I want financial security for my niece and nephews. Like, I want to know, here's the investment property, go sell it. Now you can go to college. You don't have any income. Yep. Like, so I have to figure out, what does that look like? What do I need to build? How many houses? Like, let's now break it down for 1 year. How many houses do I need to sell to hit this year's goals? And every decision I make, business and personally, needs to support the long-term plan, this 10-year letter, and the steps along the way to get me there. And like, when you break it down that way, when you write that letter to yourself, I think I said it in our last our goal setting episode, like the last line of mine literally says, be happy, kid, you deserve it. Because if I do this, I will be happy with what my life looks like. I will have what I've wanted, or what I didn't realize I wanted until now. So that was really eye-opening. And to hear some of these women in this room, like, to put into perspective who was there, it literally was everyone from someone who just got their license and hasn't hung it with a firm yet, to the woman sitting next to me wants to hit $1 million in GCI next year.
Alyssa $1 million. Alyssa wanted to pack up and go home at that point.
Yeah, because so with this elite ticket that I had to get last minute, we had a dinner Thursday night before this all kicked off. So it was a room of like, I think 25, 30 women. Yeah, I wanted to shrivel up, sit in a corner. I was just like, but I text Brenna. I was like, this is really inspiring. And yeah, I'm fired up. But even in that room, even in the room of women who bought the elite tickets, I want $1 million GCI. And the woman next to me was like, I live in an area where our average price point is $200,000. Do you know how many houses I'd have to sell? And I was like, okay, I get it. So I think one of the other things I took away from this is like, don't feel like you can't be in the room. Go. Like, anyone can buy the elite ticket. There's no income or production like requirement to be in there. Yep. Go do it. And it's inspiring because literally there was a woman there, y'all, who buried her dad the day before. She buried her dad the first day of this, and she showed up day 2. And I was just like, okay, enough. Like, if you have been making any type of excuse, put it away, because this woman literally buried her dad yesterday.
Oh yeah, these rooms will definitely make you look at your excuses, because that's all they are. You know, reasons or results, right? They're just excuses, and be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, you can have reasons or results. Like, that is it. And a lot of these women we're result driven.
Yes.
And still living big family lives. And that's the biggest thing I love about Taylor too, is that she's like, right now she's in a season of life. She's expecting again, which is great. But she's like, I don't want to be gone all the time. Like, I want to be home and present with my family. Her husband shared that she wants to be work optional by 35, right?
Right, which is 10 years for her, I think. I think that's 10 years from now for her.
I think she's a little bit older than that, but no, because he said it's only 6 years away. So that's short. Yeah. It's a short sprint.
I think when they started that goal, it was 10 years.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because she's been in the business for like 5 years now. But it's one of those things that you take a step back and look at. And again, she went through each year of her lead gen process, right? And most of the people there, I feel like, have been in her world long enough to have heard her story, right? But if somebody showed up expecting like this, I bought $12,000 in Zillow leads my first month and I closed, like, that's not what happened.
No.
That's not what happened.
And none of it was cold calling. Mm-hmm. That's what made me happy. That I was like, yes, okay, pour into me.
Well, no, it depends on who you are and what you do, right? Like, because if you ask every one of those women in that room, they all got it differently, right? But that's the beauty of this industry. But it was like, she's like, it worked for me because I could do it every day. And she hit the Facebook groups and she hit the local community. She's growing her business. Her business is like, she's learning and developing her business as it skyrockets because she didn't have the pretty systems and the beautiful branding and everything in place and then decided to do the work. She did the work to earn that spot of having the beautiful branding and things like that. You know what I mean? And there was something, I forget what specifically it was. I think it was like a pop by or something. And somebody had asked if they could do it like bigger, do more. And she's like, yeah, I could, but I don't want to. So no.
Right. Or like one of the things was she was doing pop buys. And then she realized I physically can't. Like,
well, when you go from, when you go from 27 closings your first year to 140 in year 3, like that's a lot of drive time to hit 140 addresses. Right? For sure.
Well, it even made me look like, I think I do, because I have so many repeat customers. I think my list is like 35, but geographically around Charlotte, that can take me 2 days.
Oh, absolutely.
Easily. Pop buys are out.
Absolutely.
Pop buys, maybe mailed ones, but I'm not driving around to do pop buys anymore.
Yep.
Not happening.
Yep.
But yeah, so one of her big things was she has 6 pillars of lead generation. Agent to agent referrals, social media visibility, community and client events, database nurturing, reviews and social proof, and brand identity recognition.
Yep.
And they all kind of
work together,
came along the way. Well, they all work together. Absolutely. But they all, like you said, they kind of started to layer. So like she started working agent to agent referrals as one of her first things. She was in those groups asking or following up. Even if she didn't get it, she'd send a message and say, hey, I know you already assigned this, but I'd love to be considered next time. Here's why.
Well, and that was the fun thing that she said too, was the follow-up. How many times have you seen a Facebook group post that looking for an agent in your area and there's 87 comments or 346 comments and you're like, oh, never mind, right?
Right, exactly.
But
everyone's already
not only would she comment, she would find that agent on Facebook or track down their number if they're like because they're real estate agents, right? You should be able to Google them and find their website, find their phone number, give them a call, be like, hey, I know that you're probably swimming in DMs right now, but I saw your post and wanted to reach out and introduce myself. I'm Brenna Stebbins. I work in the Hickory market and would love to work with your client. Are they looking to buy or sell, right? And if you didn't get in touch with them, she'd call the next day. Hey, I don't know if you already found an agent that was a good fit for your client, but I'm just reaching out because it's persistence. And they see that you're follow-up and that you're care to detail. You didn't just drop your name and phone number in the comments and say, call me. That's not proactive. That's not showing initiative.
I can't stand, unless it literally says, don't send me a DM. I'm sending a DM and a text message at a minimum. Like, I don't get that. It drives me nuts. Hey, I'm here. Call me if you like.
It's the worst thing in the world when it's anonymous. Like I hate the anonymous post. Like we just need to get rid of anonymous on Facebook. I feel like if you can't say it with your face attached to it, maybe you shouldn't say it.
Right.
But that's just me.
People say some pretty ugly shit with their face attached to it. So
that's true.
Who knows? But that also fed into social media visibility. So while she was doing that, she was also posting on Facebook every single day. And it wasn't always about work. It was about family. It was about how she was pregnant. Behind the scenes, if she had a showing or when she was filling out paperwork, stuff we do, but it adds up. And someone asked her, what's your ROI? How do you count that? And she was like, I don't, but I know it works because it's working. Like, look at my business.
Well, that's another thing I think.
Like, not everything needs to be measurable.
Right. I think that's another thing that people get stuck behind. Like, if I do this, how much is the return? Right? Because somebody could have a wild return on, for example, let's say Zillow leads or Facebook ads, right? And you do the same copy paste and do it, and you don't get the same return because you're not the same person.
Right.
It's you.
Or you're not the same market. Right. Different markets hit differently. Different client needs hit differently. Like,
absolutely.
Ha. Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Diet Coke from McDonald's.
Yes, please. God, yes, please. The next thing she added, like once she was started building, she instantly came into like community and client events. Even if it was something small, like an ice cream social, where it was like, yep, I'll buy you an ice cream cone. And she invites everyone in her database, not just her closed clients.
The trick here, though, too, is she's not just inviting them. She's inviting them with a Google, well, it used to be Eventbrite, but now she uses a Google form, right? Because then, again, she adds tags into her database about that they registered, that they attended, those kinds of things. So it allows her to keep track of which people are recycling into her world. Or again, if it's a community event and not clients, then she has a new list of people because she has recently implemented very specific questions into those Google Forms as well, right? Like, are you looking to buy or sell this year? Yes or no? Are you interested in having a home equity report done on your property? Yes or no? Here's put in the address. The last question I thought was really good, and gosh, I'd have to find the paper where it was. Do you remember what the last question was that she'd mentioned? Oh, if we were to have any of these workshops, would you be interested in any of the following workshops if we were to host? And she didn't say what workshops, but I'm envisioning a buyer info workshop or a seller info workshop, because then if they select those boxes, that maybe down the line that's somebody for your buyer pipeline or that's somebody for your seller pipeline. Those kinds of things.
Yep, exactly. Database nurture is pretty easy. It's stuff, guys, you can do sitting in the airport. Yep. Like, it's newsletters, it's market updates, it's easy peasy stuff. Yep. It's deal of the week emails. The one thing she does with her database is she does do the DTD2 outreach. Every Monday at 9 a.m. she sits down. It's built into her CRM, and she does it. That's database. Like, that's something you can do anywhere. Yep. You could do it on the beach if you want to be on the beach doing it. And again, she's like, they don't always respond, but I still reach out when their name comes up. And, you never know, because maybe they're just busy or they're like, oh, yeah, I don't have time for this. But she's like, I've had people who didn't respond for a while all of a sudden reach out. Yep.
And she said also, like, if there is clients that, again, there's people in the room that maybe haven't talked to their clients in 3 years, like, it's much weirder for you than it is for them. Just reach out and say hello. Yes. And I've said this in a podcast episode recently, I think, that I did one, not this past Thanksgiving, but the Thanksgiving before. And since then, this gentleman that was a past client of mine from my first year in real estate, we've transacted 3 more times.
Right?
So
that can be a game changer. Because sometimes they don't reach out until they need you, and you feel like, oh, well, everything's just falling on deaf ears. No, it's not.
It's just a matter of staying in front of them and letting them know that you're still in the business,
Right, exactly. Because their life gets busy too, and not everyone's buying a house every year. You sell them every day, but they're not thinking about it all the time. Reviews and social proof. This is what I need to get back getting better at, is asking for reviews at closing.
God, I'm so close to 50 reviews on Google right now. I need 50.
I need to fix my Google. And I had quite a few. Like, I was really, like, I even had lenders. And I think that's the other thing. It doesn't have to just be your clients. Yep. It could be vendors. It could be people from other things you've done to be like, hey, would you mind, like, throw me a Google review of what it was like to work with me? And you can repurpose those in so many different ways. You can post them on social media. You can put them in like the bottom of your newsletter, stuff like that.
That's one thing I do need to get better at doing is repurposing the reviews that I have.
Yeah. Yep. I have them linked. They go right to my website. So when someone fills it out, there's a feed at the bottom of my website. This one is big, but it's actually one of the last things she did. Her brand identity and recognition. Like, if you've ever met Taylor, it's pink. Pink everything. The girl, I don't think she owns another color.
Pink, orange, and yellow.
Yeah, her brand, but primarily pink. And people know her for that. And that was something that kind of evolved, and then she leaned into it, and now it's her thing. And she said that shouldn't be the first thing you're focusing on. It should be getting the business and being good at doing the business, and this will come with it. But it is something that is important because you do want people to, if you have a billboard, drive by and go, oh, like Cara Ferrar. Everyone knows her billboard. It's pink. I pulled into the parking lot on Friday and went, oh, Cara's here because I saw her pink Bronco. I knew Taylor was there because I saw her pink Land Rover. Not that you need to go out and buy a pink Land Rover or whatever. But, like, I remember my color is purple. I mean, just look at my background. Everything in my life is purple. So, purple and black. So I probably need to wear more purple, all of my stuff. But that will come with time. And it's important because then people recognize it. Maybe it's your billboard. Maybe it's you have a business card hanging up in the local coffee shop or a little flyer. That will come, but that shouldn't be your initial focus.
Absolutely.
But it works.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Nope.
Go.
It's your. I was going to skip the next one, and because I know that's your big one. So go ahead.
Go for it.
The other thing that she did was start to leverage her time, right? Because if you're an agent and you're selling, I mean, I've sold between 25 and I haven't hit 30 yet transactions the last few years, and I just started using a transaction coordinator almost 2 years ago now, but it's one of those things that she started making smart decisions and leveraging out her time, right? But she didn't immediately jump in and just like build a team. Her first hire was a transaction coordinator. And then her next one was a showing assistant and she'll tell you she doesn't show properties anymore, right? And she's structured her time now that she runs I think she calls it like a micro team. They have like a listing agent. Yep. They have like 2 buyer specialists. And she is the face and the name of the team, and she handles all the leads, but then they get dispersed into her people. But without doing that, would she have been able to scale? Because I think that we get so stuck in the holding on to the control. I mean, I don't trust anybody else to do it. If I do it, I know it's done, right?
Right.
And she said that she made some bad hires. She has a VA, like all of these things, but it only helped her to move her business forward. Something as simple as somebody came in to clean the house, right? Because they were
or do the laundry. The laundry was a big one.
Yeah, because they were in the slops of newborn baby and toddler throughout these years, right? So when her husband's in the military and she's working, like obviously she's working very hard, she's got all this business, but you come home and like, well, why didn't you do it? Well, I'm busy, why didn't you do it? Right? And it's another stressor. So somebody else can do it, because in the amount of time it takes one of them to do it, they could have made 3 times that doing what they're good at.
Exactly. That's laundry will never be one I give up because I'm nope. But I've hired a cleaner. I have a lawn person. Like, I'm looking at doing the VA for certain things because I know they can do it faster and better than I can. So why am I wasting my time on it? And we've told you guys this before. What was that book we read?
Buy Back Your Time.
Yeah, Buy Back Your Time. Clear example of that. Like, there are things you can do to outsource or to leverage that are going to help you grow faster than you will by holding on to it yourself.
Absolutely.
The other thing she did was she eventually, and we've all been there, got her shit together financially. They hired a financial coach and an advisor. And like she said, she's like, sometimes Jordan, her husband, will come there and be like, by the way, we're buying a house today. She's like, oh.
Great.
Okay. But it initially started with like paying off debt and starting to invest because they didn't know any better. And so many of us don't. I was talking to the girls around me, like, our parents are at least my generation, Brenna, their parents are not Holocaust survivors, Jesus, depression survivors. And it was save, 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 don't spend. What does that mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I know they had stocks, they had bonds, but you're just telling me to save. So do I just put it in a savings account? I don't understand. And so now it's time to have some financial literacy and make your money work for you. Like, that was the one thing. Like, if you can be debt free, that's amazing. But also, if you can make your money work for you through maybe real estate investing or investing in oil and gas or all these things, you can actually make money faster doing other things too. Mm-hmm. And set your family up for financial freedom or to break whatever generational curse you have around finances. That can be life altering. Like, one of the things, they have all this stuff set up for their daughter. They said, they're like, last time we looked, she has about $75,000. I was like, what?
And she's 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's 5.
Is she 5?
I think. Anyway.
Close, thereabout.
Either way. Yeah. So, like, yeah. And one of the things is, like, you can pay your kids mm-hmm. and then use the income you're giving them to pay for their sports and stuff. So even if you don't want them to, like, keep it in the bank for something, you're still spending the same money, but you're getting the tax write-off because you're paying an employee.
Yep.
There's all sorts of things. So that was a big eye-opener for me, too. It's like, I know these things are there, but how do I learn about them? Where do I find it? That was a good one.
It really was.
That was a good one.
Are you going to talk about firing yourself? Because that's your...
I think...
Oh, you did that in the beginning, too, didn't we? That was your big takeaway.
Yeah, but the biggest takeaway... Well, did we cut that, though? Because we started twice. My biggest takeaway, and the one that I've taken through into this week, is, would you fire yourself today? Because, like, my eye-opener was, I am the boss, but I show up like the worst employee. So that's the one thing I think, as you're building this all out, that a lot of people need to ask themselves and remember is, would you fire yourself today? Are you doing the things to move the business forward to make the money? Mm-hmm. If you're sitting on your couch doing nothing, watching TV and eating Cheetos, you might get fired because a regular boss wouldn't go for that. Now, it doesn't mean you can't throw in a load of laundry between calls or whatnot, but would you would you still have a job if this was a traditional, you were working for an employer? Mm-hmm. If the answer is no, then I think you need to take a look at your business and figure out why and what you need to change.
Yep. And the same thing with my takeaway was, like, are you holding yourself back by waiting for the perfect branding, the perfect time, the perfect wording to get the stuff out there? Because consistency, and we've said this a million times, consistency is where your business blossoms. And it doesn't matter how messy that, she said, do it messy. You know what I mean? Like, right. Show up, do the thing. People will remember that.
Exactly. There's, like, so many people who are waiting. Oh, that font's not right. I need to change color. Girl, y'all, I change purples all the time. Mm-hmm. But it just comes back to purple. And sometimes it doesn't even have purple in it. I just throw it up there because I'm like, it's done and it's good and here we go. Like I did one the other day. There's an announcement about a big brewery coming to my area. And I took the photo from the news article and just wrote about it. And people are ecstatic and it's getting shared. Actually, 2 other realtors shared it in my area. And I'm like, maybe you can make your own.
Nice. It's only boosting your algorithm because it's engaging people. So
right?
It's fine.
Exactly. But yeah, like, don't wait for it to be perfect. Just do it, because done is better than perfect. That was a big one too. That you could hear the in the room, because I think a lot of people were waiting for, this is how I picked my colors and this is how I like figured out what my brand identity was. Because a lot of coaches focus on that as their first thing. Okay, who are you? What's your niche?
If you haven't done a lot of business, how do you know that?
Right. And sometimes you might want your niche to be one thing, but you need to grow into that. You need to grow into, or you need to figure it out along the way. I can't really say I have one because I don't necessarily want one, but I would say one of my not niches is I don't do a lot of first-time home buyers. That's just how my business has rolled. It's not that I don't want them. I mean, they're not my favorite, but I don't have a ton of them. So maybe that's who I speak to more than anyone else. But no, it was a great.
And she has it's not a mastermind. It'll be her live event that'll be coming back to Charlotte in October. Yes. Tickets go on sale for that in February, I believe, or not February, March. So keep an eye if you're interested in that. Find Taylor Hunt on Instagram.
And if you're interested, we both participate in her coaching. So if you're interested in deep diving there, she offers a monthly plan that you can cancel at any time, which I think is great because so many coaches don't, and you get in and then you're like, I don't like it. We both, I have an affiliate code. I don't know if you have one.
Yep.
But reach out to us and we'll explain what we like and what we don't like. I haven't found anything I don't like yet, so I think she's great, and I think she talks to people like us, people who are the unassuming, not that we're millionaires yet, but the unassuming millionaires. We're not the guy out there in the pinstripe suit with the giant team who's, in the wingtips and flying out to this golf course and building this mansion. We're the people who, the millionaire next door that you don't realize.
Yep.
And I think that and either one is fine. You could still become this super shiny millionaire with this coaching and stuff. But I think she speaks to real people versus the more corporate feel of some of the coaching I've seen.
Yep.
So overall, I'd give her a 10 out of 10. And this was a great weekend.
All right. Reach out if you have any questions. We'll see you guys next week.
We just finished another episode of Contracts and Chaos, but believe me, the chaos does not stop here. So check out the show notes for our email address and where to follow us on socials, and we will see you next week.